Joining us for more on the presidential race is Rita Ferrandino of the Sarasota County Democratic Party and Christian Ziegler, state committee man for the Republican Party of Florida. He is also about to be one of Florida's delegates to the Republican National Convention, and congratulations on that. And Frank Alcock, our ABC 7 political analyst. And let's start with what Ted Cruz today. Carly Fiorina, a running mate, it's been talked about all day long. It's kind of unprecedented for somebody who is this early to say who they want as their running mate, and they're not even leading in the race. Christian, let me start with you and ask you, was this a good move or an only move that he can make? Or
I think Cruz had to make this move. I mean, where he's at in the race now with him, Donald Trump, and then you still have Kasich in the race. There's some important states coming up, and I think Carly can probably help him in some of those states. But it does hurt a little bit because typically you get that VP pick bump later on as you get closer to the convention. It's all part of the process. But obviously this time he's made a calculated move. I will say that Cruz has run a good campaign. He's got a good team. His campaign manager has been very strategic so far. So maybe they know something that other people don't.
What states could she help in? After all, her presidential campaign was not successful. She ran for U.S. Senate in California and was trounced.
She was an interesting candidate. I mean, she had a lot of support, but she was everyone's second favorite candidate, right? But when you look at California, which is obviously where she's from, I think she can help there. That's a proportional state, so you start going around the state and you start picking off delegates there. But then also with the female vote in general, to see that Ted Cruz is going to have a female on the ticket, it could possibly help. I don't know. I mean, Trump's really, you look at him and he just gets stronger and stronger. I don't know if he can be stopped. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Carly only needs to help in one state, and that's Indiana. I thought it was a really bold move. I was at the Y tonight. Five TVs were covering that story, and I think that what they were very successful at doing is they took all of the airtime today, and that was a success. And they took, there was a sweep yesterday. Trump got all 5 states, and what they did today was they owned the media cycle, and I give them a lot of credit. I thought it was bold.
It's interesting with the fact that she is a woman, and last night Mr. Trump, and in fact he doubled down on it today, basically said that Hillary is playing the women's card. You had the First Lady of New Jersey standing right behind him making faces, doing an eye roll, and now contrast that with Carly Fiorina as the vice presidential pick today for Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I mean, the clock is winding down. Cruz is far from, he's on the 50-yard line, so I don't know if he's got too many other plays in the playbook. Let's just, pull Carly off the bench, send her down the sideline. Let's try to throw a Hail Mary and see if it could possibly work. If it's possible that it could help him, and he doesn't need that much help. If he somehow is able to sort of surge by 5 or 10 points in Indiana, he could hold off Trump there, and then it changes a little bit. But it is striking. I don't think that I've ever recalled seeing the presumptive runner-up come out with their vice presidential candidate.
Christian, for all the talk we had about an open convention, there is a good chance at this stage that if Trump continues to do as well as he has been doing, I believe all he needs is around 50% of the eligible delegates left. He could wrap up the nomination.
He could. As Rita mentioned, I think it really comes down, you look at Indiana, that's going to be a big play. That's a very hotly contested state. I know Trump and Cruz are running neck and neck there. If Cruz can win there, then we probably do have an open convention. If Cruz doesn't win, then we're looking probably at Trump being the nominee. But we still have some states. I mean, it's interesting. Every time we come on here and we talk about, the primaries, it's always, is this the end? And no, it just keeps continuing. So
it's always a new wrinkle.
Yeah, exactly. It just keeps going. So I don't think that's going to change. I think this is just going to keep going, and it really might be decided on literally the last day if we have an open convention or not.
Let's talk about the Democratic side. Rita, Bernie Sanders just announced that he's laying off hundreds of campaign workers. I mean, is that a strategic move, or is it what it is?
I think that statistically it's just really difficult for Bernie to have anywhere to go. And so I think that he's winding his campaign down. I think this is the first sign. And I think that the party is looking to unify these two groups as quickly as possible. I just want to get back to the Trump playing that women's card. I thought strategically that was a really foolish move on Donald Trump's side. What is he? He's polling very badly with
Republicans.
Almost 70% with Republican women and Democratic women. He does not have female support. And there are a lot of women in this country who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton because she is the first woman that could become president. And I think that the Republicans are really undermining the power of women.
I could see you.
She is still going to have a very difficult time. When you look at her, she's someone that maybe people will vote for her because she's a woman, but really that's the only reason why to vote for her. I mean,
well, she has a very long track record.
She has
Kristen.
zero record in office. You look at the
She
world.
was a U.S. senator. She was Secretary of State.
Those are positions. Those are positions. Those aren't accomplishments. You look at Egypt.
US
you look
Senator.
at Benghazi. You look at our relationship with Russia. You look at the Middle East,
talk about
ISIS.
this another time.
No, I think we should talk about it now.
But
it's all under her watch.
Donald Trump. I mean, I think there might be more women not voting for Hillary because she's a woman, but just she's the person that's running against Donald Trump right now.
She still has 55% unfavorable rating.
She does have
Which only comes into second to Donald Trump's negative poll
Yes.
numbers. And let me ask you this, because most national polls, and we're getting into the point where you can look at the national matchups, most national polls show Clinton beating Trump.
And there's a reason for that.
Well, it's still early. I mean, there's still plenty of time. The thing with Hillary Clinton, when you look at her unfavorables, the problem with that is she's been in the spotlight for over 10 years. Those are solidified. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. But
And Donald
recently,
and
but that
Donald-
is solidified. That is solidified. Donald Trump. People don't know Donald Trump, so I know he has unfavorables
I
now,
have
but
to
there's
say
plenty
that
of time.
Given Donald Trump's track record, everyone in this country who watches TV knows Donald
But
Trump.
not in the political realm. Not in the political realm.
Frank, let me ask you this, because there have been so many wrinkles to this presidential campaign, and I'm often reminded from my own experiences that today's reality could be a lot different than what the reality is in October and November.
Yes.
Is the best yet to come.
The best?
I mean,
I don't know if
nobody,
we've
well, nobody has been able to predict.
It's been ugly. Have we seen the ugliest? No. It's gonna. It could get much uglier. I really don't know. I mean, I'm pretty humble to begin with, but this is, this cycle is maybe even filled me with more humility with respect to like not knowing what's coming around the corner. So I don't know where we're going to be. I'm afraid of where we're going to be when we get to late October and November. The campaign's going to get ridiculously ugly.
And there's a lot of fatigue.
Well, let me ask you both this question, because on one hand, you do have Bernie or bust supporters of Senator Sanders, and you do have Republicans who say that they cannot vote for Donald Trump. Is it possible for either of these candidates truthfully to unite their parties?
I think Trump's going to unite the right. I mean, when you look at this, people are really fed up with what's going on in Washington. Trump's been aggressively attacking Washington and the establishment, and I don't think we're going to have any problem, especially when you start talking about the Supreme Court as we get closer to the election and how that will be in play. I look at the left, and I think there's a lot more trouble there because some of these Bernie Sanders supporters are people that just aren't going to vote unless Bernie's on the ballot.
Except what we did was, if you remember in 2008 when we had the Obama camp and the Clinton camp, they were very successful at being able to unite the party. And the thing the Democrats have is we've got President Obama, who is may not in your world have as much authority and power, but in the Democratic Party, he's got a lot of power in his ability to unify the party. So I think that we're going to see Democrats are able to unite.
In 10 seconds.
You know what the top thing on the Bernie supporters list is? It's overturning Citizens United. Do you think Bernie supporters are going to just sit this one out and let the opportunity to overturn that go by? No chance.
Young people are not going to be able to vote for Clinton.
And we'll have to leave it there. Thank you all for coming in tonight, and we'll be back in just a moment.